Welcome back, dear children. Now we will move to our next topic, that is latent heat. Okay. Already we learned that by absorbing or releasing heat, matter gets converted from one state to another, isn't it? And at the time of change of state, what happens to the temperature? Temperature will remain as a constant, isn't it? Temperature remains as a constant and then the change of state will take place. Normally, when you are supplying heat energy, the temperature of the substance increases, but at certain points we can see that the temperature remains constant. So at that time what happens? The heat which we supply is used in order to change the state. Okay. So that heat energy which is used, absorbed or released at the time of change of state can be called as latent heat. Okay. So what is latent heat? It is the amount of heat energy absorbed or released at the time of change of state. In all the other times, the heat energy which we supply is used in order to increase the temperature. So the heat energy which is used in order to change the state can be called as latent heat. And here, if we are considering the heat energy required to change the state of unit mass of a substance, if we are considering about unit mass of a substance, then we will call it as specific latent heat. That is, if we specify the mass, this will become specific latent heat. So what is specific latent heat? The amount of heat energy absorbed or released to change the state of a substance by keeping the temperature constant. That is very important. You have to say that at constant temperature. Change of state takes place only at a constant temperature. So once again, the amount of heat energy absorbed or released to change the state of a substance at constant temperature can be called as specific latent heat. It is represented by capital L. Okay. Specific latent heat or latent heat can be represented as capital L and its equation is Q by M. In the case of specific heat and heat capacity, we had two different equations. But in the case of latent heat and specific latent heat, we'll be using just this equation. Okay. So latent heat or specific latent heat is represented by the letter L. Amount of heat energy used or absorbed or released to change the state of unit mass of a substance. So we have Q by M. Okay. So please by heart this equation. Latent heat L is equal to Q by M. Now what about the unit for this? Q is heat energy. So joule. This is the SI unit for latent heat or specific latent heat. Okay. So is it clear? Specific latent heat is the amount of heat energy absorbed or released in order to change the state of a substance at constant temperature. So we have L is equal to Q by M and its unit is joule per kilogram. Now we have to study about specific latent heat of fusion of ice. Okay. Specific latent heat of fusion of ice. Vaporization is there, but it is not there in our syllabus. We have to consider only specific latent heat of fusion of ice. So how can we define this? The fusion or freezing, isn't it? The amount of heat energy, fusion or melting. Freezing is just opposite. Okay. The amount of heat energy absorbed by unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to get converted to water at 0 degrees Celsius at constant temperature can be called as specific latent heat of fusion of ice. That is how much heat energy is required, absorbed to convert unit mass. In SI system, 1 kilogram. In CGS system, 1 gram. So, in order to convert unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius, how much heat energy should be absorbed? That is known as specific latent heat of fusion of ice. And its value is 336 into 10 raised to 3 joule per kilogram. That or 336 joule per gram. What do you mean by this? In order to convert 1 kilogram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius, 336,000 joules of heat energy is required. Okay. If 336,000 joules of heat energy is absorbed, then only 1 kilo of ice at 0 degrees Celsius can be converted to water at 0 degrees Celsius. So, it's a very, very high value. Okay. Specific latent heat of fusion of ice is a very high value. Similarly, what can you say from this? 1 gram ice at 0 degrees Celsius in a water at 0 degrees Celsius convert how much heat has to be absorbed? 336 joules of heat energy has to be absorbed. So, if 336 joules of heat energy is absorbed, then only 1 gram of ice gets converted to water. Okay. So, that means its value is so high. So, is it clear? The amount of heat energy absorbed by unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to get converted to water at 0 degrees Celsius by keeping the temperature constant can be called as specific latent heat of fusion of ice. And the value of specific latent heat of fusion of ice is 336,000 joule per kilogram. That means to convert 1 kilogram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius, 336,000 joules of heat energy is required. Okay. So, is it clear? Now, we will consider the explanation based on kinetic theory about this latent heat. Okay. So, normally when you are considering a substance, it is made up of molecules and the molecules in matter possess kinetic energy as well as potential energy, isn't it? Kinetic energy is due to the movement, random motion of the molecules, and potential energy is due to the force of attraction between the molecules. Now, when temperature increases, normally when you are supplying heat, normally temperature increases. So, when temperature increases, what happens? The average kinetic energy of the molecules increase. But at the time of change of state, the heat energy which we supply is used in order to change the potential energy. At that time, the heat energy which we supplied is not used in order to change the temperature. Temperature change varumboലാണ് what happens? Molecules in the average kinetic energy ki change varam. So, at the time of change of state, the heat energy which we supply is used in order to change the potential energy. There won't be any change in the kinetic energy. Okay. So, the temperature remains constant. The entire energy which we supply is used in order to change the potential energy. And that is why what happens? Change of state takes place. For solid to liquid or liquid to gas means what happens? Here the force of the intermolecular spacing should increase. Reverse anengil intermolecular spacing should get decreased. So, in order to change the potential energy, the heat which we supplied will be used in order to change the potential energy. Now, next is about the natural consequences of high latent heat of fusion of ice. So, already I told you the value for latent heat of ice is 336,000 joule per kilogram, or you can say it is 336 joule per gram. So what are the consequences of this high value of specific latent heat? First one is the snow on the mountains does not melt at a glance. Okay, so what happens if the snow on the mountain melts suddenly? It can result in flood, isn't it? So much snow is there and the snow won't melt completely, or at a glance the entire snow won't melt. Why? What is the reason? 1 gram of ice. In order to melt 1 gram of ice, 336 joules of heat energy is required. How many kilos of snow will be or ice will be there in the mountain? ഇത് മൊത്തം മെൽറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എത്രയോ joules of heat energy is needed. And from where this heat energy is taken? It is taken from the surroundings. ഒറ്റയടിക്ക് surroundings il ninnu they won't get this much of heat energy. Okay. That is why the snow on the mountains won't melt at a glance. Similarly, in the cold countries, water in the rivers, lakes or ponds won't get frozen completely or won't get frozen easily. So cold countries le temperature fall cheyidalum the water bodies, it won't get converted to ice. Water won't get converted to ice easily. What is the reason? 1 gram of water ഐസിലേക്ക് മാറണമെങ്കിൽ it should release 336 joules of heat. Absorb ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ solid to liquid ലേക്ക് മാറണമെങ്കിൽ it should absorb 336 joules of heat. Similarly, liquidൽ നിന്നും solidലേക്ക് പോകണമെങ്കിൽ അത്രയും heat energy liberate ചെയ്യണം. Okay. So, the water bodies won't get frozen quick. The water bodies in the cold countries won't get frozen easily. The reason is, in order to convert 1 gram of water to ice, 336 joules of heat energy has to be released. Okay, so it is not practical. That is why it won't get converted to ice easily. In order to prepare cool drinks and all, normally we will be putting ice cubes into it rather than pouring ice cold water, isn't it? So if we put ice cubes, it will become more cool than pouring cold water. What is the reason? If it is ice cube, to melt 1 gram of ice, 336 joules of heat energy is required. Isn't it? To melt 1 gram of ice, 336 joules of heat energy is required. And from where this heat energy is taken? It is taken from the drink. When from the drink, since we are taking the heat from the drink, what happens to the temperature of the drink? It falls. That means it gets cooled easily. Okay. So is it clear? But when you are pouring water means there won't be much difference. In the case of ice, at the time of change of state, this much heat energy is needed. To change 1 gram of ice to water, 336 joules of heat energy is required. That will be taken from the drink. So the drink gets cooled easily. Now, the next one is when ice in a frozen lake starts melting, its surroundings will become cool. Okay. So when the ice melts, the surroundings, it produces a cooling effect. Why? In order to melt 1 gram of ice, how much heat energy is required? 336 joules of heat energy is required. And from where this heat energy is obtained? It is taken from the surroundings, isn't it? We are not going to supply heat to it. So the heat energy required for melting is taken from the surroundings. So this causes a cooling effect. Okay. In the surroundings. Now, the last one is, it is generally more cold after a hailstorm than during or before the hailstorm. What do you mean by hailstorm? That is when ice melts, isn't it? When the ice melts, it will be more cool than during or after a hailstorm. The reason is, when ice melts, what happens? For melting of ice, heat energy is required and that is taken from the surroundings and it produces a cooling effect. Okay. So is it clear about the applications? So what all things you have to remember here? Only thing is, latent heat of fusion of ice is 336,000 joule per kilogram. That is, in order to melt 1 kilogram of ice, 336,000 joules of heat energy is required. With that, we can explain each and every point here. Okay. Now, the numericals of this chapter is removed by the not the chapter of this section is removed from the syllabus by the ICSE board. Okay. So, no need to consider the numericals of this section. Now, you can take page number 280. In that, till question number 23. Other things are with the applications. No need for that. That you can just write in your own words. So, no need to write into the notebook. Page number 280, exercise 11B. You have to write till question number 23. In that, for many questions, answers are given. No need to copy that. Then again, no need to write question number 8. Okay. Question number 8 about naphthalene, it is also not needed. So, only very few questions are there. Complete it, study it and be ready for the next Google Meet. Okay. So, thank you children.